and welcome back. And boy, Eric, I sure hope you're ready for an entire part where I only actually play the game for about 3 minutes and spend the rest of the time watching cutscenes.
To be honest, it will probably be the most fun part of the playthrough for you to record.
Not really, believe me. I mean, I've already seen all this stuff, so watching it again like this is not exactly fun. But yeah, this is like one of those parts that people really do criticize the Wii version. The fact that Missouri was like just pretty much almost completely cut out. It didn't exactly receive the same fate as Empire City, granted, but it still pretty much only kept its day boss.
Well, that's true, but Empire City really had no reason to be in the game. It was of no importance to the story. There was no chaos symbol, no boss. You just kind of went there for no reason. Missouri did serve a purpose in the story, and it's really weird that they cut almost all of it out.
I really wish more Wii games came with dual-layered discs. You know, to keep more stuff in. Kind of makes me wonder what, like, you know, huge games like Mario Galaxy or stuff would be like do with 8 gigabytes.
What? Professor Pickle's been kidnapped?
Oh, here we go. The famous scene.
Before the tremors hit, this old man showed up
With a whole pack of robots.
They carried
That joke
classic.
hasn't gotten old at
You
all.
have data and all.
It truly hasn't.
I like the butterflies there on the
That
wall.
sure sounds like Eggman.
GDF, what
So-
do you think of the decorum in Professor Pickle's lab? Granted, it's all shattered and whatnot right now.
If he got kidnapped that long
Well, I mean,
ago,
despite being a very
he's gotta
well
be
lit
real
room, I
hungry
think
by
the
now.
fact he chose so many dark wooded things in front of dark furniture doesn't really mix that well. I would have personally gone with like lighter furniture, probably like a white sofa and whatnot. Maybe kept some of the furniture he currently has, but generally I'd replace it with brighter things to work with the light.
Actually, really, I'd kind of go in the opposite direction. I think I'd go with darker browns. Like, I wouldn't have a blue carpet. I'd go with almost like an off black and white, you know, with a light cream and a very dark brown, you know. I do it very modern, like very sharp angles, that sort of thing, you know, very modern, sleek and whatnot. All the furniture here looks like it belongs in a dark, almost Victorian type style room. But the room is designed for a much more modern, sleek, smooth, you know, less cluttered design.
Yeah. Basically modern day, yeah, like you said before. I think it would have worked a lot better if you had like a white sofa instead of a brown one.
I could see a white sofa. Yeah, I wouldn't gone with a light, almost chestnut brown. I would have gone with a much more dark brown.
Now, it's more like these that I think that the hub worlds actually do build up some atmosphere. Like, I like the fact here that you visit every single area, and like, almost mysteriously there's no one anywhere. Which I did kind of like over the just, you know, wandering around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the emphasis that there was no one here was much more poignant in this version because of this, you know? Like, in the other version it was just, oh, I didn't happen to notice anyone when I walked around. You know, it didn't have the same effect.
I just love it, just like we randomly discover a mysterious hole that's sort of just like 2 feet away from the actual village, leading all the way down into Eggman's cleverly hidden base.
Are you alright?
I'm sorry, if I was in the middle of some little tribal village in Africa, I would not enter any hole that I found in the middle of Africa. I'm sorry.
Concoction food. Look here.
And here's my favorite character in the entire Sonic series.
I can definitely sympathize. I wouldn't say my favorite, but he does hold a high amount of respect from me.
I would like to point out, at being the Renaissance man that I am, and Master Sandwich Craftsman, what he's talking about here with his cucumber sandwich, that's all legit. Professor Pickle knows his shit. That's like a serious actual complaint that you would have with a cucumber sandwich. That's all stuff you really should do if you're making cucumber sandwiches.
Complain to yourself.
We came here to
Yeah.
rescue you.
Well, okay, granted the thickness of cucumber, that varies from person to person, although I highly recommend sliced thinly, if you please.
It's about time someone.
I really wonder how Eggman's supposed to reach that gigantic, just like big, almost what's the company I'm looking for? But like, how are you supposed to reach that big button if you're Eggman?
I like
Get in
the wall decorations of this room. You know, I just realized what it looks like in this room. You know how when you go to the paint store they have those cards with a different color of paint? It looks like Eggman just lined the wall with those here.
Yeah, what's with that random green color though?
Yeah,
There?
what is with this room? This looks nothing like anything Eggman's ever built anywhere. I don't actually think that this is an Eggman base. I think this is just some random other lab that Professor Pickle wandered into.
Just happened to meander into accidentally.
What?
Well, I mean, at his age, he is pretty senile, I'd expect.
He wandered a whole continent away.
Yes.
Just on his morning stroll.
He just like, so yeah, he accidentally strolled into his personal jet and accidentally just flew it all the way here and then accidentally walked into that base.
He accidentally walked into a mysterious hole.
Oh god. And here's the Sonic series favorite plot device, basically the ancient manuscript of some sort.
I do like that bookcase, the cone one in the background, the sort of triangle-y mobile one. I like that. I would put that in my house. Now, in all fairness, though, Professor Pickle gets more mysterious hole than either of us will ever get in our entire life.
I'm sorry, I was too distracted by Sonic just taking his gigantic claw, grabbing Chip by his tiny little skull, and just shoving him out of the way.
Yes.
Nearly crushing it in the process.
I really want to see, like, a blooper reel of that, where, you know, Sonic's just pushing Chip out of the way and accidentally, like, impales him on one of those giant...
Yeah, it's just a blooper reel. It's like they've got a ton of genetically cloned chips, you know, just in case Sonic manages to kill one of them.
No, it's actually just Oma Chow in his fursuit.
Oh god, why? Why? God, I'm sorry, the Werehog looks so off in that scene. The lighting does not work with him at all.
Yeah, light. Well, then again, I still say lighting doesn't work with the Werehog in most cutscenes on the PS360 version. I like how, look at it's daytime, and that backdrop there. It was fucking daytime, not nighttime. What bullshit.
We're going to go back to Missouri now. Imagine flying, how long it takes to fly between these two continents. If you're just doing it back and forth just for like 5-minute visits. Sonic is a true businessman. God, that... Oh god.
Oh, well.
Ooh, we're scary. We've captured you. And here, as we can see, the proud white man has captured the innocent, black tribe.
I don't think the robots were actually threatening them. I think they were just trying to raise the roof and invite the natives to a dance party.
I think Eggman would really look good in those like early 1900s British explorer caps.
We're not telling you anything.
Some security system he's got. What if that had been a gun? I mean, after all, he is a small child in Africa. I'm surprised he doesn't have a gun. I mean,
Coney 2012. Coney 2012.
Eggman 2012.
What? Sonic!
You'd think he wouldn't even be surprised at this
Thanks for
point.
that little skydiving adventure the other day.
I should have known you'd still be alive, you stubborn little hedgehog.
What are you doing out here?
Oh, I'm just training the natives.
In any case,
You know, white man's burden and all, later.
Later.
Hey, wait.
I wish he said later instead of farewell.
I do! Until we meet again, my friends, ha 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 ha.
Right.
Yes. That, and he should have spelled later with an 8 in the middle. I know he was saying it, but still. The holy tree. More holes. What is it with Africa and holes? Holy
God damn it,
ground,
Eric.
holy trees, holy bullet-ridden corpses on the ground. What the fuck, Africa?
And then, of course, holy mysterious holes.
God, that guy's ugly.
Yes.
Look at that beard. That beard doesn't look real. It looks like he's, like, glued it to his chin. God, that beard's creeping me out now. It seriously looked like it was felt or something.
Wait, do you really need the tablet to get into the shrine? Couldn't you just, you know, walk up to there? It's kind of just sitting right there.
Yeah. Well, you had no reason to go to the shrine without a tablet. Because the tablets are what open the, you know, day or night doors. Or in this case, only one the boss. It looks so lonely there to the side
I
without
know.
any other doors there.
Maybe that means it'll.
It's not even in the center, it's just shoved off into the corner. I have no idea why, just...
Well, actually, surprisingly, I think the way Athena's loading kind of works, and with the whole darkness of the entire temple and how it's all crumbled and ruined.
I like this cutscene. Just how the camera stays still there, then you just see Sonic run. I don't know why it tried to make it look like he changed direction, though. That's...
Kind of violating some cinematic rules there, but whatever. So this is the only time you're, well, in a few minutes at least, you're gonna, or a few seconds rather, you're gonna see the only shots of Missouri in the entire game, which pretty much look identical to this cutscene, except, in low res.
It's a shame. I would have liked to see how the Wii version would have done Missouri.
Same.
Do you think it would have been more like out in the savannah, or more in the trees? Or like in the buildings, or what do you think it would have...
Well, I think it would have been, I don't know, I actually can't decide, because both of them, they could do something with both, because usually they try to minimize the stuff that needs to be processed, really. Less stuff going on screen, and both of them don't exactly need to be super detailed, so they could probably handle both.
I don't know, to be honest, the other version, in the HD version, there really wasn't that much time you spent in the savannah. You were mostly in the citadel or the big trees. I actually would have liked to see more of just, set in the plains and the rural fields and whatnot.
Yeah, that would have been cool, I guess. I don't really care for it. I mean, I think it actually looks neat, but it's nothing amazing.
This boss was pretty much just ported from the other version. What you saw
Yeah.
there, the way he's tumbling, in the other version you can hit him and he kind of bounces on you as you boost into him. But on this version, I don't think you can. Maybe you can. In
You can only
TDF
boost when he opens his pincers for an attack.
So yeah, and it just looks awkward.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't like Eggman's whole, bug motif he had for the robots in this game. Aside from Egg Dragoon, which only appeared in the HD version, I know. But I didn't like the way any of Eggman's robots looked.
The, Egg Devil Ray wasn't that bad. It was probably my favorite of the three, although the one I remember the least, paradoxically. Anyways... what do you think of the design of this boss? The design's the same, but the model, do you think it looks better in this version or the HD
They look
version?
pretty much, I just don't like the design of it in general in either one. I just don't like the motif behind it. I don't like the concept or anything. The whole bug thing never did it for me. I kind of wanted something very... Because, the Egg Dragoon looks very Eggman-y, but, this doesn't. This just looks, off. Especially with that purple color and everything.
I actually kind of prefer the way this one looks on this version, though, as preferred to the HD version, just because the way they do the lighting and texturing in this version, everything has almost sort of painted, very bright outlines, it looks more cartoony, and everything has this weird type of sheen to it. In the HD version, the metal, it just looked a bit too shiny and almost wet, and it didn't look quite as vibrant, I just kind of preferred that about this one.
Which is funny enough what I actually really liked about the lighting of the Egg Dragoon when you did fight him. I thought the metal looked very good in that part.
I like how you go all slow motion here at the end.
I believe that happened in both versions, though.
Yes.
But I think in the HD version, actually, I slightly prefer this boss mostly because of the way, I think you ran on a loop, this gigantic loop-de-loop at one point, or ran on the side of the wall, maybe.
I know you ran on the side of the wall in the last one. I don't remember specifically for this one.
Yeah.
I think the boss fight was pretty similar, though.
Yeah, aside from the fact you could just
HD
boost any...
version.
And this cutscene is one of the few times that HD owners would hear this pretty jammin', well, not jammin', but pretty serene theme.
Yeah, this was a really underrated track from the game, largely because HD owners will never hear it other than, right now, but...
Aren't we just at the temple, though?
I don't know. Stop making...
I guess the other was just sort of like a toll booth, for a highway or something like that, and this is the actual thing.
It's weird, because in the HD version, you know, you never actually play inside the temples. You play at, like, outside the temples, you know, at the Gaia Gates. But in the Missouri version, there aren't any buildings around, or anything like that, or any mountains. It's just this big, open savanna area. And I guess you go underground or something, but it's just weird. It doesn't really explain where you go.
Yeah, here's a little bit of a plot hole from the Wii version. I guess to compensate for the plot hole in the HD version is the fact that Chip is all surprised at his Jewel reacting with this pillar here, the stand. However, we've seen before that Chip uses his gem on his chest in order to open the doors in the Gaia Gate, so the fact he gets surprised here is kind of redundant.
Do you want
You know,
to remind viewers what the plot hole in the HD version is?
well, I mean, I guess, fine, basically in the HD version, you know, it's with the whole Tails QTE event, you know, Eggman's like in the Egg Cauldron and whatnot, it's like, Sonic, I'm gonna get you now, but then when Sonic lands in Missouri, Eggman's surprised to see him there, even though he saw him, you know, 2 seconds ago in the Egg Cauldron.
I don't get why the building starts crumbling there when, you know, the light goes off. I mean, I can get maybe some tremors when the earth settles in, but the building was already, you know, shaking and whatnot, then the...
I think Sega or Sonic Team greatly underestimates just how powerful an impact a continental shift like that would be. Just like the change in air pressure and everything.
That's something interesting. Now that this continent is, or this, you know, place is at sea level, but the other ones aren't, surely they would cast massive shadows over that continent and, you know, and cause nighttime when there shouldn't be and whatnot and all that kind of...
I mean, that's actually something really, the side effect that you'd think might be really dangerous. Raising, like, continents that high, surely, like I said before, the air pressure, when they're that high up already, I mean, a lot of civilizations wouldn't be used to that, especially like a place like, let's say, Africa or something. You know, they wouldn't be used to suddenly just being a lot of places would be used to just being raised that high. So,
I don't
like,
think
how would that affect
any
them?
place would be used to being raised that high.
I guess, but like...
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply here, that some people are already living in the atmosphere.
Well, you don't know, man.
I really want to see, like, some pleasure cruise or something that's just in the middle of the ocean, then, you know, like, the planet splits apart, and because there aren't magical gates that hold the oceans together, they obviously plummet into, and just fall thousands and thousands of miles into the core.